Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. My name is FPL Phillips and today is another episode of Eddie versus the algorithm, this time ahead of Game Week 32. Game Week's coming thick and fast at the moment, but I'm very happy to be bringing to you guys another video and to inform you of the news that I did manage to win Game Week 31, meaning it's 18-11 in the series, and if your maths isn't quite there, there's not enough game weeks left for the algorithm to get back into it. I'm officially better than a computer at fantasy football. Very happy with that. Would have been a little bit embarrassing if I did end up losing it. So I'm very happy to have that all locked in and confirmed. But we'll see what the margin does end up being as we approach Game Week 38. Another game week on the books here to come. Let's get into having a look at how the computer-generated free hit team is looking ahead of Game Week 32. So as mentioned, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, the score is now 18-11. The algorithm this week going with a 3-4-3 formation that is predicted a 61-point total. Now, the scores last week weren't too impressive, to be honest, mainly because neither team had Foden in it, but, you know, there were rooms for Cole Palmer that is a more popular pick. So, ultimately, players like Salah, Saka, Haaland, who didn't come through, meant that the two teams last week didn't do that well. So I'm hoping that we can see some improvement this week from both teams, really, because now I've already beaten it. Why can't I just root for the algorithm to do well? Hey, let's have some pity with it. In goal, we're going to see Jordan Pickford be the man between the sticks. He's got Burnley at home, a nice fixture for Everton, who have been known to keep a couple clean sheets so far this season. They have been on a little bit of a worse form as of late, not keeping as many clean sheets. But Pickford's still been performing okay. They're not conceding huge amounts of goals. Burnley at home, of course, is a very nice fixture to target when looking for a clean sheet. But ultimately, in FPL at the moment, they're very, very difficult to come by. And often it is just a bit of a luck of the draw as to whether or not you're going to get a clean sheet for your pick. So, Jordan Pickford, I can see the appeal of that fixture. And yeah, going into it, the algorithm's not just going to go with him, but it's also doubling up with Mykolenko, who has got a number of attacking returns already so far this season too. Its underlying data is nice and impressive. Alex Volo on Twitter, a big fan of this guy, and why shouldn't he be? He has been known to score double-digit hauls, so he's definitely probably my pick of the Everton defenders if price is, not considered. But Branthwaite is in there as well as a cheap option. If you're looking for someone to bring in, you definitely could go for Branthwaite. I think he looks like a really nice option to navigate the upcoming fixtures depending on your chip strategy, of course. And then we've got two Spurs defenders, which is a bit of a bold move. Pedro Porro and Romero, who haven't been in great form as of late. Porro not really getting as many attacking returns, as many bonus points as we saw from him a number of game weeks ago. And Nottingham Forest at home, I don't think is a fixture where that's particularly going to change. In my view, Forest are a team in great form who have some pretty good underlying data. And I don't think Spurs are the team to back this week, personally. That might come back to bite me in the arse. That's what this series is about, I guess. But yeah, Spurs aren't a team I'm going to be targeting, but it's interesting to see the algorithm go in, not just for one defender, but a double up on Spurs and on Everton. In midfield, we're going to see a midfield four of Heung-min Son taking the captain's armband, and then Mo Salah, Palmer and Saka. So very much a template midfield in FPL at the moment. A lot of people own these four players, or at least three of them. Salah not taking the captain's armband is a little bit of a surprise to me. As always, we'll be using the captaincy matrix and me discussing which captain option I feel is best at the end stage of the video. But it's Heung-min Son who takes that captaincy for the algorithm as Spurs, as mentioned, go up against Nottingham Forest at home. So yeah, it's a nice fixture, but I don't think it's all that really. We'll have a look at the underlying data later on for Forest and how they've been performing. Son, I guess it could suit him, but Richarlison is back. Son could be moved out wide. Not that he performed particularly well last time out through the middle, but I do think generally Son is better when he's playing in that more central role and does have more of an appeal as an FPL asset and potential captain option. So yeah, personally, Son is not really just reaching the levels of some of the other options on offer, I should say, for captaincy this game week. Mo Salah is one such option who I think is kind of maybe going to be a little bit overlooked just because Palmer scored a hat-trick, because, saw Son in this team, predicted points are going in favour of him. But Mo Salah up against Manchester United at Old Trafford. I mean, we saw in the FA Cup they managed to put 3 past them. United have been conceding loads and loads of goals. Their mentality does not seem to be where it needs to be. They're conceding a lot of late goals as well. And although Salah's been getting early subs, I think this could be a game for him where he does rather well. It was very frustrating, the 59th minute substitution. I'm not sure whether he's carrying something. We have seen him be substituted off, prior to the 70-minute mark a number of times now. And so that would be the only thing that would be putting me off Salah, would be a minutes concern, rather than actually the appeal of him on the pitch per minute in that game. And whereas that with someone like Cole Palmer, he's going to be guaranteed the 90 minutes. But to be honest, although he's been fantastic, he looks great from open play and everything. Last time out, he scored 2 penalties and, pretty dodgy deflection. Before that, he has, of course, scored a number of brilliant goals alongside all these penalties and everything. And he might well get another penalty in the game against Sheffield United. But I've just got this weird feeling in my gut that Palmer is not going to reach the expectations that many people are going to have of him this game week. And maybe that's just me reading into how badly things have gone when I've predicted them in previous game weeks and trying to reverse psychology myself. But yeah, personally, I think Salah's a better option than Palmer maybe for the captain's armband this week. But both would definitely be in my team as well. And then we've got Bukayo Saka, who's been out with an injury, wasn't even in the squad last time out for Arsenal. So him coming back into the algorithm team straight away might be a little bit of a bold move. We'll see who he's got down there on the bench in a moment. Brighton away, not too bad a fixture for Arsenal. And yeah, as mentioned, he's just one of those kind of template picks at the moment. Not really exciting pick from the algorithm, but yeah, we'll just move on to the forwards, where we're going to see a front line of Solanke, Isak and Erling Haaland. So 3 very nice forwards who, despite all having away fixtures, do have nice games on paper. Luton and Fulham and Crystal Palace, respectively. So yeah, Solanke kind of taking over, doing all right. Could even be a potential very differential captain option for this game week. Alexander Isak has just been in brilliant form. It's really giving me like Henry energy at the moment at Newcastle. I know I might be a little bit disrespectful to Henry, and Isak isn't at that level yet, of course. Probably will never be. But Isak has been given that same sort of aura, and he's just looking really, really confident at the moment. Dribbling past players, finishing's looking brilliant, and to be honest, I'm jealous that I don't have him in my own team. I'm really on the lookout to try and find a way to get him into my side. This Fulham fixture should be an alright one for Newcastle. They've got a lot of injuries, bear in mind, that could catch up with them very soon. They were okay last time out, but, with Paul Dummett at the back, how long can you go before your kind of team starts crumbling a little bit? Sorry to Paul Dummett if he's watching. He's not. And then finally, Erling Haaland against Crystal Palace. Could have a chance to redeem himself. Wasn't played last time out, was kind of left on the bench, but no injury to worry about, I don't think. And so Erling Haaland back into the team. Looks like a nice option for the game against Crystal Palace as Manchester City try and hunt down Liverpool. On the bench, we're going to see Sarabia as the first choice option, if it is to be that Saka is still out injured. And then we've got Doherty and Bradley, who I'm still a bit angry at from last night of scoring an own goal and wiping out his own clean sheet in the process. So yeah, less said about that, the better. This is the algorithm team, 61 predicted points. Let's see how mine compares. And I've gone for a team that looks a little bit similar. I've changed out most of the defence though. I've gone with Neto in goal, trying to spread the risk of a clean sheet. Given that we're only seeing like 1 or 2 clean sheets a game week, I'm not really gambling all in on one team. So I've gone with Neto of Bournemouth, who kept a clean sheet last time out, to maybe try and go for that game if Bournemouth can grab a clean sheet there. I've still gone with Mikalenko, then got Malo Gusto, who performed pretty badly again in game week 31, but has been getting forward a lot. Could have maybe had an assist on another day that just wasn't given due to the intended pass rule for the first Chelsea goal. And then, of course, Chelsea are conceding a lot of goals, but at Sheffield United, there could always be a clean sheet in there for him. And finally, we've got Renan Nouri, who is by far the standout defender to own in FPL at the moment. In my view, playing very attacking. How long will that last? I'm not too sure. But if the Wolves attackers come back in, so they have Hwang fit again, they have their whole front line back, then Nouri should revert from this more attacking left wing position that he's kind of been deployed at back into a more defensive left back role. So it's a limited time, I think, but Nouri should, I think, have this game week at least in that kind of more advanced role against West Ham. So had to be in here in my side. In the midfield, I have gone for the kind of 3 that I mentioned before, but I've gone with Luis Diaz instead of Bukayo Saka. I just think that United are going to do rather well against Liverpool, and you could even consider captaining Luis Diaz with the fact that he's probably more assured for minutes than Mo Salah is right now. And then finally, up front, gone with Isak, gone with Haaland, but I've taken a bit of a punt and not gone with Dom Solanke. I've gone with Michail Antonio. Just a bit of a weird feeling. I've been liking how he's played recently from the eye test. Definitely not the best FPL option on paper, but you know what? I'm having a bit of fun at that point in the season. On the bench, I've gone with Fleckham, Ben White, Branthwaite and Sarabia, should they be needed. But yeah, I've got 56 predicted points for myself. And to be honest, I'm feeling quite confident of another win over the algorithm. Let me know which team you guys think is going to score the most points down below in the comments. Finally, let's have a look at the captaincy. And I've kind of discussed this in little parts already, but the predicted points do go in favour of Heung-min Son. That's why he's got the algorithm's armband. But Salah, Haaland and Palmer aren't too far behind. Palmer is the actual 4th highest of the best, so the worst for predicted points out of these options for this game week. And when we look at the fixtures, the Palmer does have the best one. 2.17 expected goals conceded per 90 for Sheffield United. Manchester United is technically the second best fixture of the bunch. Don't let the red colour put you off that you're seeing on the FPL website. They should kind of be known not to be trusted at this point, with Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace boasting the best defensive numbers of these teams. And then finally, expected goals go in favour of Liverpool. Man City aren't too far behind. Chelsea then are in 3rd, and Spurs, the worst performing attack of the bunch. And in terms of FPL individual options, expected FPL per 90, Heung-min Son is the worst again. So, to be honest, not really sure where that highest 6.1 predicted points is coming from. There'll be some complicated maths in the background that is too much for my little brain to understand. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like Mo Salah or Cole Palmer are probably the standout captaincy options if we're just looking at data. So yeah, Salah's there, Palmer's there. Could be an expected minutes thing for Salah. So if not him, not feeling confident on him and his minutes, then I'll probably captain Palmer this week. But I would really love to captain Salah. It's not like captaining a Chelsea midfielder over Salah when he's away at Old Trafford has ever gone wrong for anyone before, right? Hey. And on that note, I'll leave you guys to it. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good game week 32. May your arrow be green. And yeah, don't make the wrong captaincy call. I'll see you for game week 33. Goodbye.